Thing is though, units that can of course ignore these abilities also ignore these modifiers, meaning of course they're standing right out in the field of fire for heavy machine gun, of course making them very easy targets. Keep that in mind. Just saw those riflemen getting torn apart, grenade going into the building, and that was a dud. Right, American forces taking heavy casualties. Might have been rifleman team. No, it was the ranger team, cut down in its prime, all for naught. Riflemen getting stopped right here at the plateau. Pulse grenadiers and MG42 moving in, even grenadiers. Grenade being dropped down, and no, it stopped right there at the edge, killing only one Pulse grenadiers. Another goes down, and riflemen are now getting suppressed, forced to retreat. And the cutoff point is once more getting harassed by the Wehrmacht. Panzer Lehr pushing forwards. Mortar rounds landing in now, hoping to knock out this MG42. Will it have any luck?
Supply lines are broken.
Apparently not. The MG42 team instead gets out of there and grabs a medic pack just for good measure. Not looking good for the American forces. Let's upgrade 1 for the supply, yet decreasing manpower upkeep, and of course decreasing rate of veterancy for the riflemen. Few Pulse grenadiers are cut down. Pulse grenadier team number 2 with some pioneers moving towards the north, perhaps hoping to clear out that mortar team. The mortar team gets out of there. And certainly looks like the tide has turned on Itaperuna. Gaurav having gotten himself a Panzer Command and the Panzer IV. The Panzer Lehr getting some Panzers. Opening up with a high explosive shields, always a nice way to break the enemy lines. And Grenadiers now joining in. Panzer IV, Panzerkampfwagen 4, the workhorse of the German army, produced from the beginning of the war to the very end. Despite the insistence of some at some point that it should be stopped, of course not realizing that without it they would simply not be able to supply all the panzer divisions with panzers. And Panzer IV opening up, getting a few further riflemen with its high explosive shields. Of course also seeing veterancy 1 for the Panzer IV. Quite a good upgrade, decreases the damage taken. Anti-tank gun opening up. First shot not doing much damage, mustn't have taken any armor piercing rounds. Might be going for an off-map combat group. Might be the key to victory. Might not. If he could get some tank destroyers, perhaps some further infantry, he might be able to get through. Armored car opening up on these grenadiers. Will it succeed? No, takes quite a bit of damage from Pantrix instead. Grenadiers on the front, Panzer IV at the rear, taking a bit of repairs. Grenadiers charging in right into the midst of automatic fire, taking quite a bit of fire right out in the middle of the road. Bad spot. Grenade clearing out the anti-tank gun. Opening up the spot for the Panzer IV to move in and clear up anything else, if it so desires. There we go. Gaurav, sensing the weakness in the Americans' 1st Infantry Division, moves in. Anti-tank gun though getting ready once more, getting recruited by some brave riflemen. Panzer IV opening up, and the western heights have been seized by troops of the Panzer Lehr. Panzer IV once more taking quite a bit of damage. Lots of command points though, no apparent use for them. And Grenadiers now being reformed as well. Probably a few teams have already been so. Again, a bit curious why the Americans haven't gone for any medic stations. Would really have helped him in the long run, I suspect. Pulse Grenadiers and Grenadiers charging in. Lots of infantry. In fact, we are seeing 6 infantry teams. No, I counted wrong. 7 infantry teams. My goodness. Destroys the damn Amerikaner. And the Panzer IV bellowed. And Pulse Grenadiers and Grenadiers charging in. Riflemen once more taking accurate shots from the Panzer IV. German forces right in the middle of things. Anti-tank gun firing above them. Riflemen moving in from the west. No grenades being dropped. Instead from the Wehrmacht. Clearing out the mortar, my goodness. And the anti-tank gun is not looking good either. One first grenadier team forced to retreat. Another moves in. Panzer IV joins in the fun as well, though deeply damaged, down to half health, my goodness. But the anti-tank gun is cleared out in the nick of time. Another medic is killed. And what is this? German mortars on the field. In fact, getting a second mortar a small mortar section, in fact able to lay down quite a lot of death from above. Second anti-tank gun, or is it the same one? Merely recruit? No, that one's there. So 2 anti-tank guns to really hold that Panzer IV at bay, while the riflemen and M8 move forward, hoping to press back the grenadiers of the Panzer Lehr. Panzer Grenadiers, if you will. And we are seeing some riflemen pushing forward. We're in fact seeing a veterancy free rifleman team for Itaperuna. Quite lethal. Certainly one of the best units in the game. And should certainly not grab up any sort of Panzer trick. That will only make them even more lethal. In fact, Grenadiers taking quite a bit of fire though. Out in the open. Might in fact be cut down. My goodness, the Grenadier barely makes it out of there. Pioneer's doing a bit of harassment, but he can cut. Running a gauntlet of automatic fire, not looking good. Grenadiers and Grenadiers charging in, and we are seeing mortars nearby ready to provide some supporting fire. Panzer IV almost ready, and looks like we are seeing the last major fight near the northeastern victory point. Riflemen, anti-tank guns, and Greyhound moving in, really opening fire. We are seeing engineers as well. Mortar rounds opening up on one of the anti-tank guns. In fact, clearing it out. Grenadiers and Volksgrenadiers courageously holding the line. Barely any infantry left. Lots of engineers though. And now we are seeing further Grenadiers marching in. Perhaps the Panzer IV would like to join in as well. Apparently not. And veterancy free for the infantry, increasing health. Also for support weapons. And second anti-tank gun moving up. The first one cleared out. And a mortar round damages the engine of the armored car. Of course, mortar rounds can in fact do quite a bit of damage to armored cars if they can hit. And my goodness, a Flammenwehr for upgrade for the half-track. Too bad it won't do much good. The Panzer IV knocking out the armored car. Or was it something else? Not sure. And looks like another unit was torn apart. The Panzer IV scoring 13 kills for the fatherland. And looks like the last wave of Americans going out, perhaps. Volksgrenadiers seizing an American anti-tank gun. And GG dude. Again, good sportsmanship from Itaperuna and from Gaurav. And there you go, a victory for the Panzer Lehr and for the fatherland. And we do have a nice inspirational picture right here. Certainly looks most heroic, wouldn't you not agree? So, what can we learn from this actually? I mean, if you look at it from several points, there were some mistakes made on both sides, although I think of course the Americans' mistakes were much graver. Of course we saw some good harassment of strategic points. It really jumped from point to point. It didn't just sit one point and then, oh right, let's move here. It was really aggressive, really doing the best harass. Of course, good thing of the American trouble was he didn't do anything to defend what he took. He didn't lay down any mines, barbed wire, sandbags. He basically made it so the German forces, once those attacks had been pushed back, could just waltz in and take everything. That was really the major mistake made by Itaperuna. That and not getting any medic stations afterwards. He just kept running his head into a wall, trying to take that strong point. Again, don't take a strong point unless you actually have the forces to really quickly brush it away. Otherwise, it's going to end up badly for you. Clearly, he wasn't able to do that, and of course, Gaurav was able to really capitalize on that. Also, be careful with units that can break suppression in front of machine guns. They can easily be slaughtered. Otherwise, a heavy support weapon could have done great things for Itaperuna. Either that or just harassing continually instead of just trying to take on that strong point with piecemeal forces. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this fight. If you did, why not subscribe or tell your friends? This is Imperial Danes saying, don't forget to get a medic station and lay down mines. Cheers!